3, 2, 1. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Estella.
And I'm Lulu.
So, what is the world to you, Lulu?
Well, allow me. all the all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Yes, and we're now, according to Shakespeare, playing our second role as a high school student, creeping like snail, unwilling to school.
So the world doesn't seem a nice place as you like you are a high school student.
No, unfortunately. It is, for 11th grader like me, a, also
Gladiatorial.
a gladiatorial area,
Arena.
arena,
Arena.
okay, arena, a killing ground where I knocked down all the fellow students around me with ever-growing scores to get to the top 1%.
Will the world be a different place when you get there?
No, again, unfortunately. I will be doing the same thing, get to the top with the thing I'm good at producing. When I'm a college student, when I'm a college graduate, when I work for a company, even when I own a company. It's an endless battle for the endless growth.
With you as the last person standing, the final winner?
No, and this is the most unfortunate part of the story. Everyone loses. Uh, Actually, you don't get to the top without losing something. Something that may sometimes be way more valuable than what you plan to get.
Like
Like when I knock you down, what will I lose?
our friendship?
Exactly.
Can we both win?
There might be a possibility that we create a win-win situation for the world like this. Like me, overburdened by this ever-growing demand of ever-growth. And now, Liga and Jen will share with us this possibility.
Growth is killing us, says Jason Hickel, author of Less is More. According to him, it is the single greatest driver of climate breakdown and ecological collapse.
He sounds like a happy man.
Unhappy we all if we be, if change is not made.
It's a it's the 老师不会念那个 SIT.
Situation.
Is the situation really that bad?
Believe me, it is that bad. A polar bear with no ice to stand on, a fish with no water to swim in, a human being with no fresh air to breathe. And, my friend, it's getting worse.
I'm feeling unhappy now.
You're not the only one feeling so. Do you know Greta Thunberg?
Of course, a
Swedish.
Swedish high school girl who didn't want to go to school.
For a good reason, my friend. At the age of 15, she started spending her Fridays outside the Swedish parliament.
Swedish parliament.
Outside the Swedish parliament, holding up a sign reading,
School strike for climate. 你念英文的好了 School strike for climate.
Oh, sign reading, School strike for climate.
How dare she?
It's funny you should say so.
What's funny?
This is exactly the accusation Thunberg made against world leaders, who care nothing about their GPD growth. How dare you, she said. You have stolen my dream and my childhood with your empty words.
Well, she was definitely much more unhappy than I am.
Indeed, she was so unhappy. Indeed, she was so unhappy with the world that long been deceived and yet deeply hurt by the capitalist lie of ever-growth.
What's wrong with
capitalism?
Mm-hmm. Capitalism is an economic and political system that aims by accumulating as much capital as possible by producing and buying as many products as possible.
Well, it sounds good to me.
It sounds good to almost anyone. I mean, who wouldn't love to earn more and buy more?
It would kill.
Certainly.
certainly make me happy if I can do that.
It wouldn't if you know how exactly the system works.
Really?
Really, you see, the system works on the basis of endless consumption, and nothing is consumed without producing pollution of some kind.
Even if I even if I only consume a bottle of water I buy from a convenience store.
You then produce a certain amount of plastic waste, and the factory that consumes electricity to produce that product of water produces at the same time a certain amount of carbon dioxide that causes global warming.
Well, I've never thought that buying could be so evil.
Buying is not evil, but buying more than one needs is.
Well, I'm feeling
guilty.
guilty now.
This is not entirely your fault, Jen. Major manufacturers competing against each other by creating all sorts of unnecessary desires in consumers to boost their market.
What should we do then?
As individuals, we should stop buying things we don't need.
Jen,
Uh,
count me in.
count me
Count me
in.
in. 算我一份。
And I urge big companies around the world to stop killing each other in capitalist battlefield, and do our Mother Earth a favor by producing less.
How do you know the Earth wants us to do that?
Well, since the end of 2019, the COVID pandemic has drastically slowed down the global production and consumptions. And what's happened with the economic downturn? A healthier world. 我念那个字
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen dioxide in the air dropped by 12% in China, by 31.5% in India in 2020. And people can now see fish swimming in the canals of Venus for the first time in half a century.
Well, these are indeed
Evidence.
evidence enough to say she wants us to stop producing and consuming.
Producing and consuming.
Will those big companies listen to our plea?
They have to. There won't be anyone they can sell their products to if global warming brings the end of the world.
Some of them have already sensed the urgency. Selfridges, as a chain of high-end department stores in the United Kingdom, started Project Earth in 2020 and is now selling second-hand clothing.
The world is indeed a stage, and we don't like the show on it. Although we high school students are now playing a minor role, we'll certainly play the leading one someday, and we'll give the world a good show. Thank you.
好，目前呢还没什么默契了，不过没关系哈。那个现在呢就是当然云清呢你是在高二，而且你也蛮忙的啊。那你的那个台词呢你就先自己背，好，自己背到一个程度。那三位学妹我会带。好你的那个 part 呢，他们在练的时候，我会帮你念让他们熟悉你的这个台词不管在你的台词之前或之后。那之后，我在想，因为我看一下那个我们10月23号嘛，就要做上传的动作。那我预计在那个1个礼拜前就要录影，所以我们如果是段考是10月6号那之后呢就是双十节国庆的这个连假，连假之后我们就要开始合并起来练，这样听懂我的意思吧？就是说现在稿子给你们，你们该背的就背。那个金怡，
哎，
你帮助我们另外2位同学哈，有些不太会念的字啊，你帮助他们就是把它练起来这样子啊。那个，我会在那个10月就是在段考前，我大概会找你们出来练1到2次了哦，不会太多，不要占用你们太多准备期中考的这个时间。好，那这一段时间就是把那些字念顺哦，我不会特别要求你们把它背起来，但是你们就是要每天找一点点时间练一下，把那些 lines 因为这个不过就是6分钟的稿我大概念了一下了差不多6分半。那大家这样子能够分配的，大概就是1分钟或者说那个云清跟金怡会比较多了这2分多钟左右。所以你这样整个练下来不会花很多时间所以呢，你就是每天练个1次2次这样子然后呢，在这个基本上在双十节假期过后呢，我们就要开始加紧练习那我们差不多这样练习1个礼拜之后呢，我们就会试录看看那当然1次2次可能不太满意但是呢，就是我们可以录到我们满意为止，然后再把这个录影带呢给寄出去。这样 OK 吗？好同时之间那个允卫就是麻烦你就是在那个也是双十节假日过后，当然你这当中在制作的过程当中，你找到一些个图片什么东西，你也可以来问我说，老师我这样放可不可以？所以你就先按照你的 idea 去做不一定做到完才拿给我看你可以做一部分说，老师我现在呢做到他们的稿子的那个部分。那我给的这些图片是按照他们讲的哪一段话，然后秀这样的图片那我会跟你讲我的建议这样子，可以吗？但是基本上呢10月10号之后，大体上整个6分半钟的这一个 PowerPoint 要好了，这当然还是可以改但是呢，基本上那个架构要出来，这样允卫 OK 吗？
可以。
可以吗？就是对啊，你们大家都是不管是高1、高2都有期中考要准备但是因为我们有参赛，所以我们也都要拨一点时间来就是一点一点的做等段考完了之后呢，我们就要这个全力火力全开的来进行这件事情，这样可以吗 ？OK 那没有问题哎。
可以。